In life, you can blame a lot of people and you can wallow in self-pity, or you can pick yourself up and say, listen, I have to be responsible for myself. Starbucks was Howard Schultz's ideas of creating conversations around coffee. Schultz might have a net worth of $4 billion, but life was no cup of coffee, or tea, if you will, for the young boy from a humble background. His father, Fred, was an ex-United States Army trooper and later worked as a truck driver for picking up and delivering diapers. The Schultz family lived in the Canarsie Bayview houses of the New York housing authorities, and were poor, but they managed to get by, with the modest income his father earned. However, things became terrible when Howard Schultz was 7 years old. Fred Schultz broke his ankle while working. Since he had no health insurance or workers' compensation, the family ended up with no source of income, and whatever little they had managed to save up over the course of years, was used on medical bills while tending to the broken ankle. In spite of the financial situation of the family, little Howard had a normal childhood steeped in sports. Schultz immersed himself in sports like basketball, baseball, and football while studying at Canarsie High School. He graduated from the school in 1971. An athletic scholarship helped him secure a seat at the Northern Michigan University, becoming the first person from his family to enroll in a college. By the time Schultz started college, he knew that he wasn't cut out for football. The decision cost him the scholarship, and he had to pay his way through college by taking up student loans. He took up various jobs to keep himself afloat while pursuing a major in communication. He worked as a bartender and even sold his blood occasionally. Schultz had not a foggiest of idea about what to do after he graduated in 1975. He started off working in a ski lodge in Michigan. A year later, he chucked that job and headed to New York, where he got a job with Xerox Corporation, as a sales trainee. The job exposed him to the world of cold calling. His job was to find good prospects and give leads to experienced salespeople. He ended up with rebukes, doors shut on his face, and abuses galore while selling word processors in New York. But the job helped him develop a healthy amount of self-esteem thanks to a superb training program by Xerox Corporation. Soon, he developed a healthy attitude towards rejection and began focusing on garnering sales, not to mention a quirky sense of humor. By 1979, he had become a full sales representative. Schultz was hungry for more excitement at job. He wanted to do something that would challenge his skills. He came to know from a friend that a Swedish company called Postop was looking towards building a US branch for its housewares subsidiary called Hammerplast. This was the right opportunity for the young boy to be a part of a company's growth from ground up. With Hammerplast, he saw a career growth, ascending to the ranks of vice president and general manager in the company. Schultz even led a team of salespeople in the company's New York office. One day, as a part of company work, he visited one of its clients, Starbucks. It was a small-time coffee shop in Seattle. He was particularly piqued by the way the firm would order plastic cone filters in bulk. While talking to the owners of Starbucks, Gerald Baldwin and Gordon Boker, Schultz was impressed with their passion and courage to sell a product that catered only to a niche audience. He pursued Baldwin to hire him as the director of retail operations and marketing, and within a year, his determination paid off. When Schultz joined Starbucks, the company only had 3 stores that sold pounds of coffee for personal consumption. It was a trip to the International Housewares Show in Milan that changed Schultz and Starbucks' fate forever. While at Milan, the vast numbers of espresso bars in the city mesmerized the young man. He found it equally intriguing that the owners would address their customers by their name. The bars served cafe lattes and cappuccinos, apart from espresso. The short time in Milan was enough for Schultz to understand how integral the coffee bars were to the Italian culture. He realized that the coffee just wasn't considered to be a beverage, it was a way of life. He realized that coffee had the potential to develop a personal relationship with the coffee drinker. This epiphany created in him the urge to start the cafe culture in the United States. He tried to convince Baldwin and Boker to start a cafe chain that would provide an Italian-like experience for coffee lovers. Under Schultz's leadership, They initiated a pilot project that offered traditional espresso along with whole bean coffee, leaf teas, and spices. The project was a success, but the founders of Starbucks weren't ready to go into the restaurant business. The decision frustrated Schultz, and he decided to leave Starbucks in 1985 to start his coffee store. He needed $400,000 to open the first shop. It was a difficult time for him since he didn't have enough funds to start his dream project and his wife was pregnant with their first baby. There's a saying that when things are meant to be, they fall in place, and this was what happened with Schultz. It was Starbucks founders, Gerald Baldwin and Gordon Boker, who finally saw the potential of Schultz's dream, and offered to help him out. Along with $100,000 from a benevolent doctor, Schultz could raise enough money to start the first store, Il Giornale. Schultz said that the experience of starting Il Giornale, named after the Milanese daily in Italy, was a humbling one, since he learned how difficult it was to keep focused on the idea after hearing that it wasn't worth investing in. In the first year, he tried to raise money because a project of that magnitude needed an additional $1.6 million. 217 of the 242 people he spoke to said no to his idea. For 2 years, Schultz tried his best to replicate the personal touch of coffee he saw in Italy. He also brought in some value additions, like minimalist seating, ice creams and opera music to enhance the ambience in his cafe. 2 years later, Schultz bought Starbucks from Baldwin and Boker for $3.8 million since they wanted to focus solely on Peet's coffee and tea. Now, there was no turning back for the self-made visionary, who went on to rebrand Il Giornale as Starbucks. He became the CEO of Starbucks Corporation. Schultz left no stone unturned in making Starbucks the first thing that would strike someone when she or he thought coffee. He also studied real estate extensively, ensuring that his cafe had the prime spots. He steered clear of franchising and ensured that Starbucks retained ownership for every domestic outlet. America readily welcomed the Starbucks culture that Schultz brought to them. In 1992, the company went public on the Nasdaq. With 165 stores, the company pulled in $93 million revenue that very year. The world soon caught on the Starbucks culture, and it has grown to have a global operation including more than 3,500 stores with an annual revenue of $2.2 billion. Schultz never forgot his roots. He remembered the hardship his family underwent because his father's company didn't have an employee's health insurance, and he made sure that all the employees in Starbucks got complete health care coverage along with stock options. Schultz teaches a valuable lesson of life. Life places a lot of obstacles in our path, but we shouldn't be deterred by it while pursuing our dreams. The road always ends with success if we remain focused. Did you find this video helpful? If yes, please hit the like button. Subscribe to our channel for more videos like this, and press the bell icon for new videos.